Let's get back to the books a bit and talk about the increase in the loan provisions that we have seen in the numbers. This seems to be, seeping probably into the core and the total capital weights, which declined from 14 to 13.8% and 17.3 to 16.2%. I noticed that. So are you seeing more probably near-term lending?
I think if you look at, the provisions, that has picked up. And if you look at year-on-year, it's 48%. I would say, there are quite a number of reasons for that. So whenever you compare year-on-year, you're looking at what happened last year. There was a big recovery last year. So, of course, it changes the delta just because of the big recovery we had last year. But for me, fundamental is with the new accounting, the IFRS 9. You look at it from accounting standards, where if your book is picking up, within the period, we've increased our loans and advances by 60 billion. Now, from an accounting standard, it requires you to anticipate impairment for that book and go ahead and book it. So even without doing anything, it has nothing to do with deterioration of your book. You must be able to book impairment in that number. But holistically, when I look at it, I think for me the key ratios is with a loan loss ratios of about 2.3%, which is what we have for these financials. It's within our credit appetite. It ensures that we actually, supporting the economy and within a certain framework. But the fundamental ratios really to check is when you look at your gross NPL ratio. We have among the lowest NPL ratios in this market. At 6.9, the industry is 14% and above. So clearly telling you that the quality of a book is among the best in this industry. And when you look at the coverage, also among the banks that have the highest coverage. So no issues. I'll tell you. Just looking at that, those ratios are quite standing out compared to the industry.
I'd like you to make a comment as well on your liquidity, because I was looking at the percentages. I can see a slight decline. Of course, you've spoken about the larger look at the book, but we are looking at the 20s now, and there's a credit minimum, of 20%. So I don't know what's your comment on that as well.
Liquidity at the moment you see with this financial is about 25%. So still way above the 20% liquidity ratio that has been put by the regulator. Now, with the facilities that we've extended to our customers, a big chunk of that is on the side of trade. And with trade, those facilities are short-term. So it means it could be a 3-week, a month, etc., etc. So the churn in the trade products to me is quite fundamental, which means your liquidity ratio can change significantly, can improve within a very short time. So from my perspective, I don't see any challenges on this. And more important for me, noting the kind of facilities that we have. These are not long-term debt, where you have it in the book for 1 year or 5 years.
Excellent. Let me come to some more positive news here, because you have forgiven 1.8 billion shillings to the 390, I think it was 390 something customers, 1,000 customers on that you have delisted courtesy of the conversation you had with the governor, you may call it that. I don't know how this is going on your end and the impact this will have on your Timiza.
I think, number one, I must say that, I appreciate what His Excellency the President was going, his ultimate objective with this move. He gave a commitment to support, the people who are borrowed using the digital channels. And some of them are, they are students. And through the borrowing of maybe 1,000 shillings, this student has been listed. And the same student now is looking for employment. And he cannot be able to get employment because he was listed 3, 4, 5 years ago for a debt of 1,000 shillings. So with this move, we are now able to remove about 4.5 million customers out of CRB, which means they have an opportunity if it's getting employment, opportunities if they're doing businesses, opportunities if they want to now borrow. I think the emphasis, and we've really worked together with the governor of Central Bank in terms of just making this move, is to be able to reach out to these customers and tell them, you know what, we'll delist you. we'll move ahead and also give you a 50% waiver
okay.
on the amount that is outstanding, and give you a window of 6 months when you can now be able to come. You borrowed that 1,000 bob, be able to repay it within about a period of 6 months, and open up opportunities to these customers.
Okay.
So it's an exciting moment, and the more important for me is when you look at our financials, the 1.8 billion is fully written off. So it has no impact on our balance sheet, on our P&L, but just an opportunity, because the minute we give you a 50% waiver, while it's a very good, we are delisting the customer, so it benefits the customer, but then if also from a banking perspective, any recovery goes straight to our P&L. So it's one of those situations where you call win-win, and I must applaud His Excellency the President for coming with this move.
Wow, great. I saw you recently engage in SMEs in Mombasa and several other counties, and I've heard you speak that you have a strategy around it. Why is this move now?
I think if you look at the SMEs, they are the driving engine of this economy.
Sure.
They contribute over 50% of the GDP of this country. And then when you look at it from creating employment, over 80% of employment in this country is actually coming from SME. So it's a sector that you can never ignore. And more important for us, even when we're looking at the strains, the tough macroeconomic conditions that we've described, geopolitical risk, the inflation that we are seeing, we cannot be able to ignore this sector. In the same way, when we give a reprieve to our customers, when we restructured nearly 30% of our total loans and advances 2 years ago, the same customers have come. Over 90% of these facilities is performing, and they're saying thank you for listening to us. The same thing right now with SMEs. We are telling them we are open to business, and we are extending facilities with them, and we've seen quite a number of them opening accounts with Absa, and it's a sector that we are putting quite a number of products in there. And also to make sure that they are thriving. So we are doing mentorship programs with these SMEs. We are doing trainings in as basic as agendas like bookkeeping. We are opening up and linking them with the market for their finished products. And also giving them a forum where they can be able to interact with other SMEs, and be able to learn how they can be able to thrive even in tough economic conditions.
Correct this sentence if I'm wrong. From what I had, you talked about even going to the levels of even giving them unsecured lending to up to 10 million, right?
Absolutely. So we have products with unsecured lending of up to 10 million shillings.
Wow.
And noting, SMEs are more to do with on the side of trade, making sure that, if they have an invoice they've received, they've given services, we can be able to finance that all the way to 50 million shillings. If they have an LC, they're looking for funding, again, we can be able to do that up to the tune of 50 million shillings.
That's quite some good news for SMEs out there that, hey, Absa Bank is calling you a friend, come. As we come to the tail end of this conversation, you have, and it has been observed, your share compared to your peers is doing quite well, in as much as the market has been quite tough, but your share capital has still been up. I don't know what's your comment on that, and what's your message to the shareholders?
I think, the good thing with the stock market, there's no loyalty in the stock market. They look at your performance, and they look at your potential. I think since we rebranded to Absa, we've become more relevant in this market. We're coming up with solutions that speaks to the needs of our customers. And with that, I mean, our financials are testament to that approach. Now, the stock market responds and prices it accordingly. And whenever you look at the stock price, there's an issue of the potential. There's the issue of the anticipation of, for example, things like dividend, etc. And looking at our track record, where our dividend yield has been among the best in this market. So that anticipation, and also the potential that they see based on the track performance that we've been able to reflect, is what is driving our share price.
Wow. That's the end of the conversation, but I must ask you, are we expecting any plans for regional expansion and the likes?
We are open to business. I would say that. When we were doing the separation, This is among the biggest, actually the biggest separation M&A deal that we've seen in this continent.
Wow.
We've never seen, an M&A deal of this scale. The separation from Barclays into now, the rebrand of Absa.
Yeah.
If you look at it from a cost perspective, the investments that we had to do, it meant we had to focus on that.
Yeah.
All of that now is behind us. And with that, then we are saying, we are open.
You're open for
Where are the
business.
opportunities?
Yusuf Omari, thank you so much for coming to the trading.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. There you have it. That is Yusuf Omari, the interim CEO and MD, Absa Bank Kenya, analyzing for us the Q3 and the outlook that they're hoping to see at the end of it all for you, the shareholder and the customer. Quite a number of plans that they have there in store for you. Right now, I leave you with the markets.